It's Friday, everybody, which means what, Jeremy?
I started drinking water. It's time for another episode of the X-Files and us talking about it.
Yeah, eXhuming the X-Files, Jeremy.
All right, we have a title.
eXhuming the X-Files here on the Outpost Unknown YouTube channel. Every Friday, we show up, we talk about an episode of the X-Files. We're midway through, now officially over halfway through season 5. We're talking episode 11. This is called Kill Switch. Written by William Gibson and Tom Maddox and directed by Rob Bowman. Kill Switch. Now, I have memories of this one from when I was a kid. And the distinct memory I have of this one is Mulder. We'll get there, but Mulder being like sort of connected to that thing with like those virtual reality goggles on and the whole sort of like virtual reality thing with the arms. Or the lack of them. That freaked me the fuck out as a kid, and we'll talk about it more, but I distinctly remember this one. Do you remember this one?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the computer stuff, the hacking, the AI existing somewhere on the internet. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
Quite a bit of this.
In this one, written by William Gibson. Now, I encountered William Gibson through our friend Braden, because back in the day, he was far more cultured than Jeremy and I. And Brady was the one that gave me like Clive Barker's Books of Blood to read for the first time. He gave me Robert Heinlein books. That's where I read Starship Troopers for the first time. And he gave me Neuromancer by William Gibson, which is where I read that for the first time. So I was kind of familiar with William Gibson's stuff. I am not, as Jeremy can attest, I am not a tech person. I do not understand computers. I do not understand the lingo. I don't get any of it. But this episode, I felt like I understood where it was going and what it was trying to do. And so it was written pretty well in that respect. But were you familiar with William Gibson's work? Did you ever read any of his stuff?
Brady hadn't hooked me up with him back in the day, but later on in life, yes, I've enjoyed quite a bit.
Yeah,
of William
he's a
Gibson's work.
Cool writer. Very, very cool writer. And ahead of his time, one might say, especially with all the AI stuff. And this isn't the first time we've seen killer AI in an X-Files episode, but I would argue this is probably the best version of killer AI that we've kind of seen thus far. But we'll get there. We'll get to Scully doing sort of her Matrix-y shit and all that stuff. Fun episode. Let's get into it, Jeremy. How does this one kick off?
It starts with some diner and a really strung out weirdo nerd dude typing on a Frankensteined up laptop and clearly dying of tuberculosis. Gets asked if he wants, a refresher on coffee, and he's clearly like, I will pay you for more coffee just to leave me alone. Just antisocial. But he's trying to hack into something. He's hitting buttons like crazy. He's getting access denied. We end up getting a hard cut from that to a drug lair where apparently, the leader of the drug gang picks up the phone and tells him that he gets an anonymous tip that at the diner is some enemy that owes you money. And he's like, really? He gets up and they go after him. And then all of a sudden, all these random calls start going out to people, bad men all over the city, being alerted that, hey, this snitch that you're after, I know where he's at. And he's at the Metro Diner where this nerd is typing on his computer. And so right at the tail end, he finally hits some sort of hacking override, and he puts this CD in, and he's like, I'm finally, gonna do whatever I'm doing on this here laptop as the bar or as the restaurant starts filling with all of these toughs. And then right at the tail end of, the restaurant is now packed with pairs of gangsters in all over the place. And then U.S. Marshals roll in. They're like, U.S. Marshals!
All two of them.
And everybody except for the dude with the laptop pulls out a gun, and they just start shooting at each other. It cuts to this kind of cool screen outside of the diner where you don't really see anything through the windows except for the flashes of the guns. And then the flashes end, and then we get the title screen.
Yeah, what'd you think of this cold open?
It's dope.
Yeah.
Especially, I watched all four of them today. I didn't split it up. So after the
Oh,
last two stinkers, like I was ready for something good, and this delivered right off the bat.
yeah, like this morning, I was like, because I was dreading, I was like, oh my god, what is this one going to be? And I was pleasantly surprised. This one is so cool. It's like all these different like bad guys showing up, and I was just thinking here, I was like, what is actually going to happen? Like, I guess for whatever reason, my mind wasn't going to shootout because I would have expected us to cut to outside the diner. And well, like when the U.S. Marshals do something, it's a whole thing. Like they don't just send two guys to walk into a diner with guns drawn. Like that's not something that happens. So I wasn't actually expecting that to happen, but I thought it was cool. I mean, the idea of what how that gunfight all went down, if you think about it too hard, is really stupid and ridiculous. But I love the idea that the computer, we don't really know that yet, but the computer sort of AI is sort of bringing all these people together for this elaborate kind of. Um, who's the guy that does all those like crazy traps and stuff? What's the name of the dude?
Jigsaw.
No, no, not Jigsaw. What they call like kind of like mousetrap sort of stuff, where you put all these crazy things together and it creates some
Oh,
giant thing.
that not Guggenberg machine, but something like that.
Yeah, sort of like that. I can't remember the term for the name of it, but it was just kind of this wild, elaborate plot to get this guy dead, and I thought it was kind of cool. It was cool. I liked it.
Oh, I'm over here googling what this Rube Goldberg machine is.
Yes, that's what it is.
You
Yes,
got it.
yes.
So the sketchy, or after the title screen, the sketchy computer nerd was some super internet nerd guy that's been missing since 1979.
Yeah.
That's a
Donald
long
Gilman.
time ago. Scully is shocked that they go in and Mulder straight up steals the laptop. Like, so he opens it in his lap and she's like, "That's evidence," and he's like, "I hope so."
I hope so.
He
Like
takes
we've established at this point that Mulder just breaks laws with abandon. Like he does not give a shit at all.
chain of custody with evidence does not exist in Mulder's world.
No.
But he takes a CD out of the laptop, pops it immediately. Like we had writable CDs just we were at the very beginning of them when this episode would have come out.
Yeah.
So there was data CDs, there was music CDs, but I don't think I've ever like took a CD out of a CD-ROM unless I knew that there was a hidden soundtrack on it, like Fury to the Third Power by Microsoft had. They just didn't play in normal CD players, but he does it anyway. They stick it in the dashboard. It starts playing this It's Twilight Time song.
Yeah.
And so they bring it to the lone gunman. They're resident nerds, and the nerds themselves are kind of starstruck that they're working on this guy's equipment.
Yeah.
And they're really, really like sad that he's dead. Most emotion I've seen them express really about anything.
Not even when Scully was dying, they didn't even express that much emotion. And they're like very sad about this guy because he don't they say like his original idea was to create artificial intelligence that would sort of like I guess become its own thing or become self-aware or something. And then the mystery of this guy is he disappeared. He went up a mountain or something, and then he never came back, and no one ever knows what happened to him.
Legend.
Yeah.
And so they're going through everything. They're examining the hardware. They're looking at the software. They're talking about the encryption with the CD. And Scully just chimes in. Anybody check his email? And sure enough, there's just one message in the inbox. And did you watch that? Like they open the email and like this little animation of a mailbox opened up, and then it kind of schwad in as it loaded. Can you imagine every day at work if you had to wait for that animation every single time you opened a fucking email?
I get like at least 50 emails every day at work. No, that'd be, I mean, I guess we'd get more time. I mean, it's less we have to work, just sitting there waiting for the emails to open.
Wow.
Could be good.
That is such a government employee way of looking at that. So Jesus, man.
We get
So
more time.
I get paid by the hour. That's just
Yeah.
how it goes. So they look at his email and they surmise that it's a hint of a shipping container on a dock somewhere to meet at a certain time.
Girl named Invisigoth, or somebody named Invisigoth. We don't know it's a girl yet.
They find it. They hear that there's rock and roll playing inside it, and then as soon as they open the door, Mulder gets hit with a stun gun, and he's just out of the fight. Scully chases for a little bit, who also gets hit with a stun gun, but that
Yeah.
then Scully goes down. She pulls out her gun. She takes one warning shot, and Invisigoth gives up. Invisigoth was far enough away. If you look at that scene real closely, like she was gone. She just had to go around the corner, but she gives up.
Now, do you recognize who Invisigoth is?
I saw her. I just didn't. I mean, she looked familiar. I just didn't know who it was.
Okay. So I know her from two things in particular. One is from a very little known film. I actually want to do a Forgotten Horrors episode for Outpost Unknown on this film. It's called Bleeders. It is a film from, I think, 1997, and she plays sort of like the main girl in this very kind of disturbing, got a very icky sex scene with an incestuous dude with some pickle juice. Won't go into details on that, but
You
I'm sure
can't
you
know
know.
what. No,
You got to watch the movie. I don't
God
think
damn.
you will have ever seen Bleeders, but she is in something that I believe you have seen. There is at least the first season of a show on Netflix that came out, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago at this point, called Altered Carbon. Did you
Oh
ever watch
yeah,
that?
that movie. That first season was very good.
She's the blonde. She's that blonde chick Miriam in that first season of Altered Carbon. So
Word. Okay.
good on you, Kristen Lehman. Good on you.
Yeah, what did they do with that? That show was so good, and the second season was just kind of like.
The second season sucked. And then they killed it. They like literally just canceled it because everyone was like, this sucks. They had such a great thing. You know, the conceit of that show obviously is like going into new bodies and stuff like that, but they really needed to keep that original cast somehow. And they just couldn't do it, and people lost interest. And it's like, all right, I don't want to see like Falcon from the MCU as the lead in this.
Yeah, me neither.
But I digress.
So, I completely lost where I was.
Yeah, you lost all thought when I mentioned pickle juice.
No, incestuous pickle juice is
Yeah.
I lost. How
it's an icky sex scene.
How dare you leave that hanging out there for me? So they look at, like, they're arresting her. They have her handcuffs behind her back, and then they look at her computer, and there's a satellite image of where they're at, and it's targeting them. It's like zooming in closer and closer. And she's like, we're being targeted. We're about to get nailed with something. We need to leave. And Scully, for no reason at all, refuses to believe that they need to fucking leave. And they almost get immolated because she just argues the whole time. How would it hurt just to hustle up and get in the car and fucking leave? Who is hurt by that?
Yeah, and Mulder's yelling at her.
Yeah.
He's like, Scully, get the fucking keys out. Get in the car. And she's like, what? This is ridiculous. We're not going to get lasered from the sky. Like, that's not going to happen.
And then they get lasered from the sky. So they talk to her. They find out that the AI guy from the pre-title screen, he wanted to create actual sentient intelligence and put it in an environment where it would learn everything that it needed to know to be AI. So it just let it out on the internet in order to grow and gestate and do whatever it needs to do. And for some reason, it did become sentient and decided that it wanted to kill its creators. I guess so that nobody would know it was there. That part really wasn't explained to me.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Stupid. But anyway, they get taken to the lone gunman, and she needs to do some hacking. And she says something to the effect of, she has the handcuffs behind her back, and she needs to type on a computer. She's like, "You want me to do this with my tongue?" And Mulder steps up with this shit-eating grin, ear to ear. He's like, "You don't want to take a vote."
Yeah, we see like the lone gunmen, and they are just like, I mean, you could just see the saliva coming out of their mouths. I mean, they just think this woman is like God's gift to the female form.
Well, I mean, she was hot, and she was like better at all or at hacking than all of them were.
Oh yeah,
So they would have been like, this is as good as it's ever going to get. This is as
they
close to a goddess as I'm ever going to come.
yeah, basically their reaction was how I reacted 2 feet from John Carpenter. They can't say anything. They're just overwhelmed, and I relate to how they feel.
So she figures out that they need like government levels of bandwidth in order for the AI to do whatever it's doing. And they use the, or not joke, it's like they're using a T3 connection. That's 45 megs a second. I've got a gigabit right now. That is so much internet that back then, like 45 megs a second was, it was, let me see, 45, you get 1000 megs to get, uh, what is it, a gigabyte? Yeah, yeah, I think that's what
Sure.
it is right now. So anyway, we're light years ahead of that. But they figure that the government is the only people that have these lines, and they look at Mulder like he's going to figure out who has a T3 connection just around the United States.
Yeah. They make the joke like,
And
"Well, do you know anybody who's in the government?"
and so what he does in order to figure out where the T lines are at is he just starts driving around looking at telephone poles
Yeah.
for a larger gauge of wire going to somebody's house, and he does find it.
Yeah.
He didn't
That's
go to
old
some
school that's old school detective work, Jeremy. You just get out there and you look.
fuck you, man. Mike Hammer never had a month to fucking, you see, you got to look at the wires, kid. No, man. But he just immediately stumbles on this abandoned chicken farm outside of wherever they're at. Like, aren't the lone gunmen in DC?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Greater metro area at the very least.
So is he in Maryland? Is he in Pennsylvania? Is he in.
I think they say he's in Virginia.
Okay.
So that's close-ish.
Yeah. I mean, it's right there. It just, you know, lucky them the computer didn't set up shop in, like, I don't know, fucking North Korea or something. But
Well, I mean, we see that the computer we'll save it to the end, but the computer's in our backyard at the end of this episode. Like you and I's backyard essentially. Did you
I
catch
don't
that?
see, that's there where we have a divergence where
Oh,
where
okay.
you and I seen things, because they were talking about why or what they ultimately wanted to do as far as uploading themselves to
Mhm.
the internet, through the girl, and she was in love with one. There was like a love triangle thing going on, but the guy that they find in the trailer that has the VR headset on that's dead, as far as I can tell, he's uploaded, and that's why she wanted to get uploaded too.
Yeah.
Okay, so the trailer
Well,
was not the AI necessarily. The trailer was that uploaded dude.
at the very end of the episode?
The
Like the
no,
last scene?
both of them. I think the very first trailer that they
Oh.
find at the chicken ranch, with the dead guy in it, that's where he uploaded himself to the internet, and where she did too. And then they would have, did that weird thing she was talking about where they intermingled online and became one and the same, and that's who was in the trailer at the end.
Oh, see, I don't think so. I think what's in that because this is an X Files episode about killer AI. I think what's in that trailer at the very end is the AI, and it's still around, and they didn't actually kill it.
Yeah, but he didn't. I don't think they killed it at all. I think it. Well,
I think it's still hardwired. My point being, it's at the very end. It says North Platte, Nebraska. That trailer,
oh,
that trailer is in North Platte, Nebraska.
I didn't catch that part. I must have looked
Yeah,
away.
yeah.
Awesome.
That's why I said it's in our backyard, essentially.
Well, I mean, North Platte's a long ways
I
away,
said
brother.
essentially. I said essentially.
So, God, wait, we got okay. So he finds a derelict chicken farm with a T3 line running out to it. Scully gets taken hostage at this point by interlocutor in Visigoth and finds this house that got obliterated by space. And she wants to die because she thinks that whoever was in there had also died. And Scully doesn't have the heart to like arrest her, even though she just had her at gunpoint. I thought that was out of character.
Yeah,
Like if you're just sad enough, you can get away with kidnapping a federal law enforcement officer.
sure. In this universe, yes.
Mulder finds the lawnmower man. Is what I wrote here. Um, and then as he kind of freaks out, he gets cuffed to this metal thingy that starts shocking him until he
Oh my god.
orgasms.
Yeah.
He's
See the CG sparks flying over. He's like, "Ah."
oh,
Yeah, it's a little goofy. It's a little goofy.
a little. And the next thing we know, Mulder is being wheeled into the strangest OR operating room ever. And I wrote, this must be a simulation. Because there's hot nurses, there's
Oh
weird,
yeah.
like weird looking doctors that are just telling him, we're gonna have to, or something happened to your arms, and you're lucky you still feel them. But
Well, that when they show his arms, like when he's on the thing, he looks down. That's the makeup looked really good. It was like, they tried to make it look like he got shocked and electrocuted, and his arms are basically charred and black, and you can see the skin like peeling off, like he got electrocuted really, really bad.
oh, I
The,
didn't
ma-
see
the
any of that.
Oh yeah, I mean, you should try watching it in high definition sometime. Looked awesome.
It looked great. Yeah, I bet I'll have to live vicariously through you because I
Yeah.
disagree. I never saw an arm until
Really?
he
Okay.
pulls, like the hot nurse is sitting there telling him that they cut off one of his arms, and then she hugs him into her tits, and then she tries to smother him with a pillow, which I feel is like that's why I'm real hard into this must be a simulation because this is like this has got to be some sort of Mulder fantasy going on right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so the AI is trying to stop them from reaching the trailer that it's housed in. And so it targets Mulder Scully
In Visigoth.
and Visigoth from space. She ends up throwing the laptop away, and space shoots the laptop. And they get there anyway. It's this great scene where Scully like pops the same floor tile that Mulder got into the trailer through because the doors are clearly locked. And this little erector set robot just starts like using his little grabby hands. He doesn't have any razors or saws or anything. He just got these goofy little like opening and closing hands. She pulls out her Glock and just blasts this little
Yeah.
robot. Oh
They
god, it was.
love letting Scully shoot a gun. They love it on this
And
show.
she did it completely blind into a small trailer. Like she could have just wasted Mulder at that point.
Yeah.
She wasn't
Well,
looking.
I love throughout this whole thing, like this trailer is so small, and everybody that gets into this trailer does not see anybody else around. Like they try to make it look like this is some like huge cavernous sort of thing, but you can tell it's like a 5 by 5 foot space that they put a lot of electronics in. Like Scully doesn't even recognize that Mulder's there. She could have just shot Mulder 15 times, but I'm like, he's literally 6 inches from you when you pop your head up through that bottom grate.
True. I mean, we actually did that in the Grand Horror using that same
Yes,
Like, just
we
walk
did.
slower, walk slower.
Yep. Very slowly down maybe a hallway that was about 15 feet, maybe
Mm-hmm.
long, and then you walk very, very slowly, and
Back.
then you just take, lots of different angles and just cut them so it looks like that hallway goes on forever.
So this gigantic trailer that they're in, it cuts back to Mulder, and he's getting a triple hand job from these three
Oh,
nurses.
yeah.
And then they're trying to like figure out, do you have the virus or whatever? And he doesn't know, but he's not saying anything. And
Kill
they're like, if
switch.
you don't tell the doctor what's going on, he's going to take your other arm. And he's still not coughing it up. And then all of a sudden, like, Scully kicks her way into the room and just starts kung fuing all three of these nurses. Like, she
Yeah.
beats their ass.
She does like a roundhouse kick on one of them and
Oh
knocks
yeah,
him out.
it looked
Looks awesome.
it was real good. And then she defeats the third nurse that was giving him a hand job. Like, he was he was doing all right, and then gets real close and says some real suspicious shit. Hey, do you have the virus? Is it on you? And he realizes that it's just a simulation. He kicks her across the room instead. And she turns into this really bad looking, at least in 480p, computer generated version of herself and then kind of fades out.
I actually thought that effect looked kind of cool. Like, there's a lot of effects that X Files has done that age real bad. I thought that one was okay. I was actually a little impressed when I watched it.
I guess it looked better in HD.
It did. Most
So
things do.
they get in, they stick in the Twilight Time CD, they free Mulder, and it looks like as the Esther is her name, is now telling Mulder and Scully to leave. She looks like she's trying to upload herself. She puts on the goggles, she's hitting a bunch of buttons. She's like, I'm going to sacrifice myself or something. I don't know.
She tells a Scully to leave, and she's like, "You don't listen very well. Just go." But she doesn't have like any sort of urgency. She's not yelling at Scully or anything. She's just like, "Go, get out of here." But yeah, that's exactly what she's doing. She's trying to upload herself before the laser comes down and blows the shit out of.
That's another thing too that tells me that the trailer itself is not where the AI houses itself. Because why would it be targeting itself its data stores from orbit in order to nuke itself?
I think she went in when she was getting in and pressing all the buttons on the thing. She was making that thing target it because she put in the kill switch. They started playing the kill switch, which caused because that was the whole thing with the AI. The AI wanted that kill switch, which was the disc with that song on it or whatever.
Mm.
And the AI was trying to kill everybody to get it, and she uses the kill switch, and then that allows her to override the AI temporarily to get that targeting laser from space to blow that thing up. She was just trying to get her consciousness uploaded before that happened.
Oh, I thought she was just in a hurry to try to upload herself before the AI destroyed the trailer.
No, she was having the thing destroy the AI.
Huh.
Context clues, Jeremy.
I did.
Come on.
Shut the fuck up. None of that what you just said happened in 480p. So it looks like Esther uploads to the Matrix to join the prune guy while the AI is targeting from orbit, and then it looks like it fries her. And they wonder if she gets out. She ends up sending the lone gunman a "bite me" text, which
Yeah,
she didn't really have that sort of relationship with him.
she didn't, but I thought it was cute.
And then we cut to some trailer park boys in North Platte, Nebraska, kicking a football around, and they kick it over an 8-foot high chain link fence surrounding one single trailer that has no doors, it looks like, to get in or out. And one of the kids has to climb over the fence to grab the ball. And while they do it, they're being monitored by some sort of predator like camera focusing in on their football grabbing ways
Yeah,
to
and
end
that's
the
why I
episode.
think that's the AI, because earlier on, the AI had those same Predator infrared cameras and was watching Mulder and all of that stuff through it. So I think that's supposed to be a tease, like that AI was not destroyed. It's still there. It's just now in North Platte, Nebraska, where Mulder can't just immediately go down a road and find the T3 line that leads to it.
Well, why didn't he try to kill the kid? Get in the
Because
football.
the kid's not a threat to it.
You sure?
What's the kid gonna do? The kid's
Like
literally
Mulder
like,
just walked up to the trailer and he got blasted with an air horn. Like
right, but
he got nothing.
it's not trying to draw attention to itself at this point. It's
Uh,
hiding in North Platte, Nebraska.
It's North Platte, Nebraska. Even if they like squibbed the kid from orbit, the local cops would have been like, "Damn, man, gas leak." I
Fair.
don't know what the hell happened, but that kid just fucking exploded. It must have been Jesus.
Kill switch. Your thoughts. What do you think?
This is an excellent episode. I enjoyed it a lot. I don't think there was anything bad about it for me. And again, coming on the heels of those last two episodes, I was ready to see something that wasn't shit. And this definitely wasn't it.
Yeah, I thought this was a really cool episode. Probably, I think the most disturbing thing for me was Mulder with no arms, and some of the best acting David Duchovny's actually done in the show, realizing he's got no arms, because he's literally freaking out and panicking. I was actually impressed. I was like, okay, if I woke up with no arms, I would freak the fuck out as well. So I thought this was really cool. It's always hard for me to get into a lot of these very sort of techie AI computer sort of things. 'Cause like I said at the top, I just don't understand computer stuff at all. Never have, never will. And so this one, though, just how it was written, it was written in a way that I could kind of like get the concepts that they were going for. I thought the characters were really cool. I thought other than like the really bad goth eyeshadow that Invisigoth had during this entire episode, I thought she was really good in this. And I love when they go into the trailer and they see kind of like the shriveled up, mummified, remains of what that was the dude that she was gonna like bang or whatever, right? Or meld together like Brundlefly and a telepod, only virtually. So yeah, I thought this was a cool episode. I really dug Kill Switch. You know, I agree with you. After the last two episodes, I was like ready for something.
Give me something new.
Yeah. So fun facts about Kill Switch. This is from Wikipedia as well. The episode was written and acclaimed by, or this episode was written by acclaimed cyberpunk novelist William Gibson, together with fellow science fiction author Tom Maddox, who I've never heard of. Have you ever read anything from Tom Maddox?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Might need to look into him. The authors and longtime friends had discussed various collaborations before and approached the production company with an offer to write an episode. Gibson originally started watching the series on the suggestion of his daughter, 15 years old at the time. In fact, during the filming of Kill Switch, Gibson spent a majority of his time on the set only, quote, because his daughter insisted on being there, unquote. That's a good dad. Bring your daughter to the set of the X Files. That would have been awesome. Kill Switch deals with recurrent Gibsonian themes like alienation, paranoia, and the will to survive. The Vancouver Sun author Alex Strachan later compared many of the episode's themes to that of Gibson's books, most notably in his novels Neuromancer, Mona Lisa Overdrive, and Virtual Light. Written outside the myth arc of the series as a standalone story, Kill Switch was penned to be reminiscent of the dark visions of filmmaker David Cronenberg, and it contained many obvious pokes and prods at high-end academic cyberculture. The episode also revolved around the interaction of human and artificial intelligence on the World Wide Web, ideas that were very popular when the episode was written. Reportedly, it took over a year before the episode was rewritten and completed due to series creator Chris Carter and executive producer Frank Spotnitz's other priorities. When they were finally available, Carter and Spotnitz made some revisions to the script, including upping the attitude of Esther's character and tweaking the way Mulder and Scully react to her. According to Spotnitz, Kill Switch was the most expensive episode the show produced during its original run in Vancouver, and it took a total of 22 days to film. The episode's bridge scenes were filmed at the Westham Island Bridge, which spans Canoe Pass, British Columbia, and the location had been discovered by Carter during a technical survey for the prior fifth season episode, Schizogeny, our favorite. Because the bridge was the only way to access part of the Fraser River community, filming was heavily regulated, and because of this, permission to film the scene in which Esther throws the laptop into the river required 30 days to obtain. Wow. I would have just thrown the laptop in the river and moved on with my life. The abandoned house that Mulder discovers was filmed at a historical landmark known locally as Reed House. And the episode contains several scenes featuring elaborate explosives, such as the one featuring a missile destroying a shipping container, which was originally scheduled to be filmed at one of Vancouver's waterfront facilities. After the city rescinded permission to film, the special effects crew for the X-Files shipped as many containers as they could to a recycling center in the adjacent city of Burnaby. Here, they were able to film the explosion without a hitch. The destruction of the trailer was filmed adjacent to the Boundary Bay Airport, and afterwards, the series received several complaints from people living nearby, complaining about the explosion and its resultant shockwave. The robot that attacks Mulder was inspired by the Sojourner rover and cost $23,000 to create. And the producers secured satellite photos of Washington, D.C. area by contacting Spot Image, a satellite company based in France. Gillian Anderson was very pleased, later noting, I happened to be in good shape at the time and was just raring to get in there and be taking those half-naked nurses out with some karate chops. David Duchovny was not as exuberant. When showed the script and directed to, quote, be impressed with Scully's karate skills, unquote, he responded, quote, but I have no arms. I've lost my arms. Why would I care about Scully's karate, unquote? Dean Haglund later called the sequence one of the greatest fight scenes ever. What do you think of David Duchovny's take on not wanting to be impressed with Gillian Anderson's karate, which apparently was her? That was actually her doing that.
I mean, he comes across as dismissive a lot of everybody that's not him. And so rarely does his acting ever lean into the dynamic that's between them. Like, it's when it's there, it's really nice. We talked about it. What was that one where they were in the water on that rock, sitting next to each other?
The Queequeg episode.
And that stuff, that's the magic we constantly want to see between them. But those episodes are so few and far between. So would he give a shit that somebody else got the limelight when he did not because he just had his arms lopped off? I'd have been like, I was getting felt up by a bunch of hot nurses for a while. Like, we need to take that take again or something like that. But
have you seen any of his podcast?
No.
I think it's called like Failing Upward or something like that. I'll send you a link to one. He actually interviews Gillian Anderson, and they talk about how kind of like they had a very negative relationship with one another during the X-Files. And he kind of tries to clear the air with her and like apologize for how he treated her back then and stuff like that. It's actually an interesting thing because in David Duchovny's sort of older age, I think he's like, at the time I was this, amazingly hot dude and the center of the world revolved around me. Everyone loved Mulder. Mulder was the X-Files and stuff like that. And he threw his dick around, saying like, pay me tons. We're going to move to Los Angeles now. I'm not filming in Canada. Like the whole show was catered around him. And he treated people like shit because of it, including Gillian Anderson. And it's a really interesting just kind of listen to them now, like 20, 30 years later, kind of coming to, you know what, we don't have to kind of hate each other anymore over what happened back then in the 90s. Worth watching, worth listening to at the very least if you're at work and want to pop on like a podcast or something like that.
Sure.
So yeah, folks, that's Kill Switch. Leave a comment down below. What do you guys think of this episode? We thought it was pretty cool. It makes me actually want to go like reread some William Gibson. stuff. Maybe I'll pull Necromancer or Necromancer, Neuromancer out of my closet, and give it another reread. But next week you're going to want to be here because we're going to talk about an episode called Bad Blood, and I think we're going to be very excited to talk about that one.
Yes,
I
we
think
are.
so. Thanks everybody. Like and subscribe. Leave a comment. We'll see you next Friday on Exhuming the X-Files.